Hello, everybody. It is the Benjamin Bloom Football Show. And here we are for tonight's live coverage. It is Leeds United v Stoke City. Nervous much, Leeds United fans? Right at the sharp end now of the championship season. The entirety of game week 42 has been played and Leeds are the last to go. And without any sense of hyperbole or hyping it up from me, this is a massive game. And I know you Leeds fans watching are nervous, and I know you Stoke fans watching are nervous as well. Let's have a little look at the context. We'll have a look at the tables. We'll have a look at the teams, and then we'll get your thoughts and predictions on how you see this one going tonight. As I say, doesn't need much hyping up from me at this point, so deep into the season now. Let's just have a quick look at what else has gone on in game week number 42. So, big win for Fulham, Forest 0, Fulham 1. Big comeback win for Brentford to beat Charlton 2-1. Luton and Barnsley not helpful for either of them, drawing at the bottom there. Huddersfield continue to kind of dirge their way out of the relegation picture. Big result against Cardiff's favour there. They were nicely positioned in 6th place, but a defeat there at home to Blackburn. Remember, all of this we'll do in the Championship Review Show in more detail. Millwall 0, Borough 2. We're on Wednesday now. Neil Warnock getting a big win there. In terms of Middlesbrough's possible survival and a dent in Millwall's playoff push, despite that good run of fixtures they look to have. Then, good performance from West Brom last night, putting pressure on Leeds tonight. Derby slipping a little bit away from that playoff position. Remember, they have a horrible hard running as well. Birmingham 1, Swansea 3. That was enough for Pep Clotet and enough to get Swansea back in the picture. Bristol City 2, Hull 1. Not good news for Hull. Good news for Dean Holden, the caretaker manager at Bristol City. Is that Wigan there? Wigan 1, QPR 0. Is that Wigan starting off the greatest of escapes? We'll see. They're already off the bottom on goal difference. And Preston there with a late victory, a comeback victory indeed, to put them back into the playoff picture. And Sheffield Wednesday are still not fireproof in terms of a possible points deduction. The gap is 10 points exactly. 9-point deduction if they're guilty, and they would be safe. What has that done to the table? Well, we'll try and focus in relation to tonight's teams. There are Leeds. 2nd position, West Brom have gone back above Leeds, maybe temporarily, but here's why Leeds fans are anxious, because any poor result tonight, a defeat particularly, and it's 3 points Brentford have closed in. And look at the goal difference. Everyone keeps telling me if Brentford get within one game, look at that goal difference. They don't have to get more points than Leeds or West Brom, only have to go level. The flip side of that, if Leeds can get that victory tonight, 6 points gap, with 4 to play, and then they could be mathematically in the next round of games. If Brentford were to lose and Leeds were to win, that would be 9 points with 3 games to go. So 1 point from the last 3 games would be required. So Leeds could pretty much, if it goes well for them, be promoted midweek next week. But this is the Championship, as we always say. Let's take a look from a Stoke point of view. There they are, down in 20th place. Remember, though, take Wigan from 15th and pop them to 23rd, because they are now level on points. It'll be minus 12 with Luton on 41, but superior goal difference. Bump that line, bump everybody up one then, and put that line below Hull. So Stoke are 4 points off relegation effectively, unless Mr. Andy Burnham can do something with this appeal against the EFL, deducting 12 points from Wigan. here are tonight's fixtures. As I said, all eyes on Leeds and Stoke. Every other game has been played. Centre stage, as ever, Leeds. Let's have a look at the snapshot from Infogol there. Have a look down the bottom. Huge favourites with both the bookies and the boffins. Leeds, 62% on Infogol's predicted chance, with 15% there for Stoke. And even greater, obviously, we know bookies' odds are done on liability. So sometimes it's the amount of money that's going on rather than the chance of it happening, changing things. But 68% chance there. Look at the blue numbers there, 15% and 12% chance for Stoke. Leeds, heavy favourites in this one. They've been heavy favourites before. They've come a cropper before, but no Elland Road full of supporters, which can be a blessing if they're behind and everything's going well, can be a curse when that anxiety kicks in, that Elland Road anxiety we've seen before. There are Leeds' last 10. Excellent. Look at that. One defeat in the last 10, and that includes a 5-game winning streak. It also includes 7 victories. So the last 10 for Leeds, played 10, won 7, drawn 2, lost 1. By my quick maths, that is 23 points in the last 10 games for Leeds, 2.3 points per game. That is championship form. If ever anybody did see it, 2.3, what would that give you over 46 games? Pushing 100 points, that, wouldn't it? So Leeds are in form. A lot of people have said, Ben, don't pay attention to pre-lockdown, but I think it's important. And post-lockdown as well, there, Leeds 7 points in 4, so nearly at the 2 points per game mark. They can hit that mark with a victory tonight. Stoke, bit up and down, but much improved since Michael O'Neill took over. 2 defeats there to start their last 10, but a 5-game undefeated streak in the middle of that. That does go across the lockdown, it has to be said. Then 2 poor results at home to Borough and away to Stoke, but apparently a crisis meeting amongst the players and a really big victory against Barnsley. You will see the swing on that victory was sensational. Take 3 points off Stoke and add it on to Barnsley, and Stoke would be in the relegation zone. So when the chips were down, a big result. But remember, Barnsley aren't Leeds, and Leeds aren't Barnsley. Over those 10 games, 12 points. That should be enough to keep you away from relegation most seasons. This isn't most normal seasons, with the points per game down the bottom being rather ridiculous at times. I can see your comments flooding in. We will get to them. Please, in the meantime, though, before we go to the teams, if you're watching now, hit that thumbs up button and give this stream a like. Get more people to it. And if you haven't yet, put your comment in. Put your predictions. How is this one going to play out? Right. I always like doing these with Leeds because it is the most predictable selection you can get. Bielsa does not mess with his team. It's all about the process and the pattern of play. And if you can keep the same players playing, they will play. That said, there did have to be a couple of changes in the last game. Meslier in goal, as expected. We don't expect to see Krissy really ever play for Leeds again. I assume that suspension is still going, isn't it? Across the back, Ayling, right back, White and Cooper, centre halves, Dallas at left back. Dallas has played his way in here. Some sense that Barry Douglas did his chances no harm in the last game, but Dallas has been the Milner of the Championship, hasn't he? Calvin Phillips, outstanding deep line playmaker as ever. In front of him, Klitsch and Roberts. Klitsch will be box to box. Roberts, they'll want him to get forward and be a goal threat. Down the sides, Jack Harrison and Helder Costa. Some talk that deal is done or nearly done for the permanent signing. Quite the price he needs to deliver on that, Helder Costa. At the top, Pat Bamford in front of the Sky cameras. Let's hope he can have a good game finishing-wise, because unfortunately, a lot of people don't notice anything in Pat Bamford's game other than the finishing. But I think he's closing in on 15 goals now for the season, and he could be in the team going back to the top of the league. For Stoke, Butland in goal. He could be brilliant, but he could be terrible. And this season, he's been terrible quite a lot of the time. Don't want to pile in on Butland there, but it's not been a good time for him. He needs to get his confidence and his form back together. Tommy Smith there, the right back, the assist machine in Huddersfield's promotion, wasn't he? Danny Butt there. Collins, the other centre-half, and Bruno Martins Indy, the left-back. What you'll see when you look through these Stoke players is you will start to say, why are they so low in the table? Lots of experience and promotions there as well. In central midfield there, Jordan Cousins and Nick Powell. Don't know whether Infogol had that totally right, because you could see Powell in the 10 and Klukas in the deep line spot, but we will trust their judgment until we see on the pitch. There, the three off the front. Tyrese Campbell, excellent against Barnsley, scored 2 great goals as well. Son of Kevin, I believe. Sam Klukas, again, highly expensive player and experienced. Look out for long-range shooting ability from Klukas. James McLean, very, very good at this level. Will get crosses in and will get in the box when the ball is down the other side. Sam Vokes should cause Ben White and Liam Cooper some problems, but Ben White and Liam Cooper haven't had too many strikers give them too much of the runaround this season. So you would say, as always with Leeds, pattern of play, no one can touch Leeds, can they? But player for player, Stoke have good players. On the benches there, who can do what to change things? Leeds bench and the particularly the top 4 or 5 there looking really nice. Remember, Douglas can come on to free up Dallas to play in any one of his 20 positions. Paveda, not sure we'll see him. Alioski has made good contributions from the bench recently, scoring against Fulham and also assisting in one of the other games, which I'm forgetting. But there he is, number 19, the great Pablo Hernandez. He's your guy if it's tight. Get him on the pitch. Berardi can cover across the back as well. And then a little less experienced, but I'm a big fan of Jamie Shackleton. If you're defending a lead and you want legs in midfield, maybe for Klitsch or Roberts, get Shackleton in there, I would say. And for Stoke there, you're looking at names like Tom Ince, who's done it at the top end of the Championship and been in the Premier League. James Chester with Villa. Mame Biram Diouf, how much did he cost? Lee Gregory is a proven Championship goal scorer as well. So, don't want to try and make Leeds fans more nervous. I'm just trying to push the narrative that this could be more even than the tables say. Stoke do have good players. They have an experienced international manager. Obviously, Leeds in year 2 of their plan with Mr. Bielsa in the technical dugout are clear favourites, and the table does not lie. Let's have a little look at your comments and your predictions. We'll see what the fabled Benjamin Bloom chat is saying. Charles, 2-0 Leeds. Mally is joining us afterwards. Look forward to seeing you. Moore says Costa, Harrison and Tyler Roberts to tear Stoke apart. He's looking down the side and the paces. Mark, we have one Stoke fan in at least. There we go. Chris, from the Brentford point of view, needs a Stoke win. Remember, let's get that table up real quick. If it only takes a refereeing decision, a red card, or an injury to a key player, and a game can shoot by, it's 3 points if Leeds lose this, and then things do start to get nervous, don't they? Jay says, back to the original lineup for Leeds, Dallas and Costa returning for injury. Remember last season, Daniel Farker went on an 8-game winning streak with Norwich, and during that streak, experienced players came back. Tim Closer came back, Tom Tribal came back, Moritz Leitner came back. he didn't put them in the team. He stuck with the team that was winning. So people like Ben Godfrey and Kenny McLean stayed in the team. It looked like he was doing the easiest managerial trick in the book by changing nothing. But he did the smartest thing and he got Norwich over the line, didn't he? Lana, 3-0 Leeds. Lee, something is telling me Leeds will drop points tonight. Is it the nerves? Jay is trying to stay confident, but also has a bad feeling. Yep, it looks like retro metabolism is nervous as well. Lee says, how am I doing? I am good. I've been on the go all day today. Norwich Russ there. He'll be pleased with my praise of Daniel Farker a minute ago. 1-1. That will not do for Leeds. Will it? Flashbacks to Wigan 2019. Oh, dear. Is Bielsa out of contract next season? I think Bielsa, one of the leads, will correct me if I'm wrong on this. I think he pretty much decides what his own contract is every year, doesn't he? So I think he's out of contract every summer and marches to the beat of his own drum. Noel, sorry I'm late. Just got back from Birmingham Airport to wave Pep. Oh, that's terrible, Noel. Check out my video, Pep Clotet, out of Birmingham. We did one early this morning. David says he just watched it. Thank you for watching, David. Most annoyingly, I woke up and checked my phone, and obviously it's not a hassle for me to make videos about football, but it was, well, I better talk about that, hadn't I? So I didn't look my best this morning. There we go. Mark says, if Leeds travelled today on a cold, rainy day, it might affect them. Stoke's manager has had time and looked and to have sorted the dressing room out. Stoke have potential here. Max, 1 a.m. in Australia. Are you staying up till 4 to be with us for the stream at the end? He's confident of a 2-0 victory. Andrew says this is going to be that one weird championship game. We do get them, haven't we? We do get them where you just get a weird old result. Where would we be now if there hadn't been lockdown? We would be that this would like be the second game over Easter, wouldn't it? And then sort of 3 to play after. Interesting. Lee says Wigan should be deducted points. If they aren't, we'll create huge other issues. We'll see. Sorry, Stoke have travelled. Yes, indeed. David says, yep, Mr. Bloom had a video of it. Yeah, check Pep Clotet. Bees, one of 6 clubs in Europe. Oh, is that right? Post-lockdown to win all of their games. Let's keep going with the comments just very, very quickly. You support the channel by using the super chat, the dollar button next to the comments, or by subscribing on Patreon. Please do that. I'm on kind of gardening leave at the moment, but no job for me as of next Friday, basically. So trying to give this a nice push. Mark says, depends if Stoke travel today, since O'Neill improved things greatly with the clear the air stuff. From a Birmingham point of view, Craig Gardner in charge. Interesting. Matt wants a prediction from me. I predict a nervous Leeds victory, which might involve them being 1 goal up going into stoppage time and Stoke throwing balls into the box. But there we go. Let's have another look. Waffler said, Powell at defensive midfield and Klukas at attacking midfield is interesting. Yeah, let's have a look and see how that lines up. In for goal are good, but they don't always have it right. Although Powell, in terms of a defender, he's a more kind of physical, bigger presence. He's a good finisher, but then so is Klukas. So we'll see. Eli, the Barnsley fan. Not often I want Leeds to win, but I do tonight. Remember, let's bring up that bottom of the table and have a look at this from Stoke's point of view. If, as the conceived wisdom says, Stoke are losing this game, then you've got Barnsley would be 4 points behind still. It would be a big win for Stoke, wouldn't it? They can go up to 17th place and pop Birmingham, managerless Birmingham, down into that bottom 7. Interesting. Josh, so nervous. Hopefully gaps will appear behind the lines. Win and we are up. Come on, Leeds. Certainly getting closer. Roger looks nervous again. I won't read that one out. Craig says he's going 2-1 Leeds. Sean, is a Luton fan desperate for a home win, so we'll go for a 1-1 draw. He doesn't want to predict the obvious home win. David says, leave Butland alone. We need that sell-on fee. Is that from a Birmingham point of view? Yes. Remember, Stoke could have sold Butland for a fortune, couldn't they? 2-0 Leeds, says Charles. Let's take a few more comments. We are closing in on kickoff now, about 9 minutes away. David says, can imagine Leeds 0, Stoke 1, with 1 shot on target for Stoke and massive XG in favour of Leeds. Look, I know David is presenting the doomsday scenario for Leeds, but we cannot count that out, because when I was called the curse of Leeds going to away games in London, that was the pattern. And the big issue for Leeds was when they went a goal behind and there was lots of passing and huffing and puffing, not many men in the box or balls into the box, or still trying to create those high percentage chances. And we saw a lot of games fall by the wayside 1-0 against Leeds. So we cannot ignore that as a theory. Maybe Leeds are different now, who knows? But we cannot ignore that as a theory. Tom, what do you make of the speculation of the winner of the Championship and Premier League playing each other in the Community Shield? I haven't heard that speculation. That sounds very, very interesting. Who would that be? Leeds and Liverpool, you'd think. Colm, easy 2-0 Leeds. When you see what Colm is doing there, I know he's a Fulham fan, so he's predicting the opposite of what he wants to happen. Waffler says Stoke always sign players on the way down here. You don't want to become a retirement home, an expensive one. Bailey is behind Stoke there, 2-1 Stoke. Eli, 3-0 Leeds. I'm sorry, I'm skipping over some comments. I do apologise. I'm just picking out the Leeds Stoke ones. Jay, nobody is invincible, especially in this league. Absolutely. Anir on Bristol City there, only 6 points off the playoffs. He's still believing their games against Borough and Stoke. Interesting. David says, thank you for the video earlier. No problem at all. Bailey said, watching my double match review from the playoff finals last year, the good old days. There you go, when we could go to games. Yes, double match review. If you remember that, if you've watched the channel for a while, I was at Villa West Brom at 12:30, and then Derby Leeds at 4:30, was it? Or was it at 5 o'clock? 5:15 maybe, but it went perfectly. Check that out on the channel. A lot easier, it has to be said, than my double match review involving Sheffield United Forest at 12:15, and then Sheffield to Norwich for Norwich Blackburn at 7:45. And would you believe I only just made it? God, that was a long day. Anton says Northern Ireland under Michael O'Neill had a great defence. Even teams like Germany and Holland struggled to score against them. Interesting, interesting point. Yeah, I didn't know. I'm not aware of too much of Michael O'Neill's Northern Ireland work. Jay says, oh, so this would have been the first Easter fixture. Okay, interesting. Remember, this is where Leeds lost it last season. I was at, no, I wasn't. I was at, that was the day of Sheffield United Forest and Norwich Blackburn. And Leeds lost to Wigan famously, and then Brentford on the Monday. Lewis says 4-0 Leeds. Goodness me. Alex there says 2-1 Leeds. I'm seeing lots of cardboard cutouts of fans in the Leeds stand there. David says Sunday, Stoke versus Birmingham. Look at this for Stoke. Oh, look at this for Birmingham, in fact. Let me just bring that up again. I'll bring up the bottom half of the table. So from a Birmingham point of view, Stoke can really bury them into the relegation zone. Yeah, maybe it isn't all over for Birmingham then. They need to get this sorted. Tom, thank you, sir. I believe I've already read the comment, but yes, we are on the booze tonight, obviously. Let's drink to Tom there. A nice Shiraz tonight. £5 super chat. Thank you so much, Tom. Very, very kind of you, sir. Lewis adds, Leeds are going to blow them out of the park, make a proper statement. If they do that, I think they're basically champions, aren't they? If they win 3 or 4-0 or something crazy. Colm says he's just being honest. There you go. No no ulterior motives to his prediction there. John, I think John's out in the Far East somewhere. West Ham fan there. Stoke 1-0. First Leeds wheel getting loosened. Waffler says Stoke don't have Cathcart and Evans. Bailey says, if you see Leeds go up, do you see them being able to retain Bielsa's possession style or no, due to having lower quality players relative to the Prem? I think they need to sign. Norwich didn't sign and played the same style. Didn't work. So I think they need to sign. But remember, Leeds' ability to make commercial revenue and make up gaps is far greater than any team that could go into the Premier League. So I think they will back him. Yeah, Jay says flashbacks of Wigan. That's why. Ewan's being mean again. Derby fan there. Now, also a lot of cardboard cutouts. So you can always back Noel for a one-liner there, normally at Birmingham's expense, and he is a Birmingham fan, so he's allowed. It's that normal thing, isn't it? I can say what I like about my mother, but nobody else can. Nice choice of wine. Yes, thank you. I'm sure we'll make our way through that during this game. Lewis, Birmingham should be all right. You have to worry for them next season. Same for QPR, interestingly. Nat says, come on, Stoke. Stoke 1-0. So, look, I think it's going to be a nervous one. I think Leeds by 1. But I accept all the scenarios that you guys have put forward in the chat. Leeds could make the statement and blow them away, or you could get the disaster and the anxiety of Leeds dropping behind in this game. It's going to be a great watch. It is a massive game, this one. I cannot wait to watch. I love watching Bielsa's teams at the best of times, but this is a good matchup. They're not against mugs here, despite what the league table says. Although Stoke are fragile. They have lost a lot of games this season, haven't they? Right, let's call it quits on this pre-match stream. Please do come back at half-time, probably 45 seconds, a minute after the half-time whistle goes. I will be here. The stream will be up during the first half at some point, and I will hit go. So click in there to wait. I'm seeing Jack Butland come out. So it looks like we are ready to go, and Sky will be going to their turbo break soon. There's Danny Bart and Sam Vokes. So I'm going to bid you all farewell. Enjoy the first half. Colm says, hit the like. Please do that. And I will see you all at halftime. And if you can't make halftime, full time for the full review. Remember, the plan is tonight, we're only going to go till 7:30 because all the Leeds fans are going to disappear off to watch El Loco on Sky. Right. Thank you very much for watching. See you at halftime. Big one. Let's enjoy it. And thank you again to, was it Tom, for the super chat. Thanks so much for the support. Over and out.